In this lesson, you're going to learn how to engage your audience with choose your own adventure presentations. I was starting to write a blog post about this and then, no. I got to show you. I want to show you my slides and how this works. So in this lesson, we're going to cover 3 things. First up, you're going to see a demo. I'm going to show you what this is. And choose your own adventure. What is this? Don't worry. I'm going to show you in a moment. Second, I'm going to give you a behind the scenes tour of my PowerPoint slides so you can see exactly how to set this up and try it yourself. And then third, if I can get my fingers right, third, I'm going to give you some caveats so you know when to use this and when not to. And big heads up here, this is not a beginner technique. So if you're new to presentations or you're new to your topic area, this is not for you. I've got tons and tons of beginner techniques on my blog, in my courses. This is not beginner level. This is advanced level. Okay. So if you want to, take your presentations up a notch, take your data communication skills up a notch, stay tuned, my friends. I have got a super advanced maneuver to share with you next. So we're going to cover 3 things: the demo, the behind the scenes tour, and then talk about some caveats. First up, demo. So let me go into the presentation view and let's talk about this choose your own adventure technique and what it looks like. Okay, so you can see I'm using real slides, kind of. I mean, I didn't fill in all these tips and tricks, but you get the gist of it. I want you to see the skeleton of what this could look like, but then you run with it. You apply it to your topic area, okay? So let's go through this. And accessibility is a topic that I talk about a lot, right? It's really core to what I do. It's in everything. It's infused in everything that I teach, how to make data accessible for people who are time crunched, for people with disabilities. Like, I want everybody to understand all the data. That being said, there's this misperception that accessibility takes all day. It's really time consuming. It's costly. It's complicated. Not true. Not true. So I have this talk that I developed about 10 quick wins that I'm giving at lots and lots of conferences throughout 2021. Most recently, I talked about this at the Nonprofit Technology Conference when was this? In March, late March 2021. Okay, so in that talk, I said something like, welcome to the session. We're going to cover 10 quick wins. I'm Ann. I run Depict Data Studio. I've worked with all these cool groups like yours over the past decade. Connect with me on LinkedIn. And then I get some engagement right away, right? So, 20 seconds in, 30 seconds in, they're typing in the chat window because choose your own adventure puts the audience in the driver's seat. They're not just sitting there like bumps on a log. They have to be typing actively or speaking if you're on like a Zoom where you have cameras on. This particular presentation was on, what was the platform? I can't remember. I couldn't see them. They could see me, but I was interacting with them through the chat window. Anyway, so I say, let me know in the chat window, what does the term accessibility mean to you? What are some of the definitions you've heard? And they type and I read off some of the answers. And then I say, yeah, those are all correct answers. Here are some terms or some definitions that I typically hear. And then I say, I could talk about this technique until midnight. It's near and dear to my heart. We're going to cover 10 quick wins. Kind of. We don't have time to cover all of these, so you tell me. We're going to cover 2 or 3 of these over the next hour that you think are going to be most helpful for your job. So I want you to type in the chat and let me know which 2 or 3 of these do you want to learn about. If you want to learn about color blindness, type a 1. If you want to learn about color contrast, type a 2, and so on. Okay, so I'm getting their input. It's choose your own adventure, okay? Are you getting it? Is this starting to come together? I hope so. And then I say, don't worry, I've got you covered. You can learn about all 10. Stay tuned until the end. I'm gonna give you a code so you can get a complimentary copy for our ebook that has all 10 of these in detail. So I wanna lift the weight off their shoulders. I don't want them to feel like, oh no, I'm freaking out. I wanted to learn all 10. Now I can only learn 2 or 3. You can teach all 10, but not in your little 30 to 60-minute session. You can't teach all 10 well, right? Okay, so you might have 5 things you want to teach. You might have 10, like this one was about 10 quick wins. They're typing in the chat what they want to learn about, and you're reading the chat to come in. And then I say, okay, great. I see a lot of 1s and 9s. Let's go with those first. Time permitting, maybe we'll cover another one. Okay, and here's where choose your own adventure begins. Let's pretend I get lots of 1s and 9s in the chat. So I go over and I click on number 1, and it zooms me to topic 1 in the presentation, which stands out, of course, because I've used color contrast here. The number 1 is white. Everything else is grayed out. The words color blindness are big. Everything else is still normal size. Okay, so they know, like, great, let's zoom in. Let's do number 1 together. And then you do topic 1, all the tips and tricks, and more tips and tricks, and more tips and tricks. And you might have 5 slides, you might have 20 slides, you might have some activities there, some Q&A, like you cover that topic like you normally would. And at the end of topic 1, you see the table of contents slide again. And you say, great job, team. I hope you enjoyed learning about number 1. You told me you wanted to hear about number 9 next. Is that still where we want to go? You know, maybe they changed their mind. I don't know. And if so, you say, great, let's do number 9. And you click on number 9, and guess where it takes you? Yep, you guessed it. You were right. It takes you to number 9, which of course stands out because it's white compared to everything else being grayed out. It's bigger font compared to everything else being like regular size. And then you go through number 9, all the tips and tricks, right? And then you get to the table of contents slide again, and time permitting, you might cover another one, maybe, okay? This is going to be highly customized to your topic area. You might have 5 techniques. You might have 10 like I did. Each technique's going to take a little bit different time. Your conference talk might be 30 minutes instead of 60 minutes like the one I just gave. Okay, but you get the idea, right? You have the universe of options, but the audience chooses. They get to pick. They are in control. They're going to pick the ones that are most relevant to their workplace. Everything's relevant, but we can't learn everything in a short talk. So we're prioritizing it, not based on our preferences as the presenter, but based on what our audience wants to hear about. Okay, there's one more thing I want to show you. At the end, I also leave time for a case study. So in the most recent talk that I gave at the Nonprofit Technology Network conference, I had an hour. The first 45 minutes were, I think we covered 3 of these techniques. Yeah, we covered 3. That was the first 45 minutes. And then the last 15 minutes was a case study. So I had 3 case studies prepared in advance, but we only had time to go through 1, okay? Because I showed them a before graph, and then they weighed in and they said, yeah, I would fix this, and I would fix this, and I would fix this. They went through the accessibility quick wins they just learned about, and I showed them the after version. So that takes time to go through, right? So what I did, as we're covering the techniques through the first 45 minutes of the presentation, I'm listening to see how engaged are they, what types of questions are they asking, and I'm choosing between my 3 pre-prepared case studies. I'm choosing the beginner case study, the intermediate case study, or the advanced case study. So let's pretend that I want to go with the beginner case study, which is going to be most groups. We're going to do the beginner case study. I just click up here and it takes me to the beginner case study number 1, and I can go through that one, etc. Okay. Number 2. Let's do a behind the scenes tech tour, okay? Do you get the demo? You get the idea? You present the universe of options and then you zoom in and you just cover a couple of them. So how to do this? It's just links in PowerPoint, okay? So this slide, this table of contents slide is key. You set it up with your techniques, 5, 10, whatever number of things you have that you could cover. And then you go like this, right? You link them. So in this case, I decided to link these icons. You can also link the text boxes. I decided to link the icons. So I click on the icon. I go up to Insert, and I go to the Link button. you click the little down arrow and you insert a link. And what it pulls up is the place in this document, or if it says email, go to place in this document, right? It pulls this up and you can scroll through. You'll have all your slides here and you choose where should this icon link to? So in this case, I just linked it right over here, slide 10, right? It's this one. It's this one that's like, cool, we're going to talk about color blindness. Now in real life, when you do this, it's going to be even easier because see how I have like placeholder slide titles? It just says slide title for this demo, but in real life, this said avoid red-green color combos. So as I'm scrolling through here, I can see like it's easy to link. It's really, really easy. Okay, so you click OK, and now that's linked. So when you click on it in your presentation, see how it has it's a link, right? Easy, 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 easy. So this one's linked, this is linked, that's linked, I've got 10 links in here. And then you go through color blindness. I think these do have links too, but you're not clicking these links, so it doesn't matter. You go through that section, and then at the end of the section, you go to the table of contents slide again with the links. Now, are you inserting all 10 links 10 million times over and over? Of course not. You're making this one. You make one of these. This is a work hard once technique. You make one table of contents slide with links, and then you just copy and paste it, okay? So it comes at the end of every section. You're back to this table of contents. Here's what it looks like at a bird's eye view level, right? Table of contents slide that you click on. It takes you to this intro slide. You go through all the tips and tricks in that section, table of contents. Intro slide, all the slides in that section, table of contents, okay? And on and on and on. Pretty easy, right? The case studies, they are also linked. I don't have words for them, but there are some boxes, right? I just made some shapes. I just did insert, shape. I made a rectangle. I made it transparent. It doesn't have to say like case study or activity. It could if you wanted to. I didn't need it to say anything, okay? So I just made those. There's 3 of them. There's one for the beginner case study, the intermediate, and the advanced. So when I'm looking at my slides, I know, let me hover my mouse towards the upper right corner so it zooms me to the beginner case study. Or if I hover my mouse towards the middle, it takes me to an intermediate. Get it? It's just links. That's easy. All right? Is there anything else I need to show you here? I think that's it. I bet you've made links before. I bet you have. So the what to click on side of this, I think, is really simple. Mostly this video is about just exposing you to a new way to give presentations that puts the audience in control and therefore makes them super, super engaged because they're learning exactly what they need to learn and nothing else. Third, let's talk caveats. The first one, I already told you. This is an advanced technique. So if you're new to your content area or you don't present on it a lot, don't use this. Just give a regular presentation. No need to give a choose your own adventure presentation. The second caveat is this is only for presentations where you can present the topics in any order, where there is no logic or sequence to the ordering. So if your presentation needs to go thing 1, thing 2, thing 3, in that order, don't do this, okay? In my presentation that I just showed you, I was talking about 10 quick wins with accessibility that we could truly go over in any order. I could have done 1, 2, 3, or I could have done 3, 2, 1. The skills don't build on one another, so this is a perfect candidate for a choose your own adventure presentation. All right, it's your turn. Give this a try and then get in touch. Let me know how it went and share some tips of your own so that we can learn from one another. Thank you.